That's in Victoria Park in Taunton in Somerset as we have some Week 2 action from the Britball season, as we have making their 2025 season debut the Bristol Apache, the winners of the SFC 1 West last year. Now, on the other side, you've got the Somerset Wyverns, currently 0-1, losing to Bournemouth last week. There are definitely some problems there. Heard through the grapevine, no first downs in that game for the Somerset Wyverns. Obviously that's a quick, easy problem to fix, but we're going to get into the coin toss. We're going to get into it. Hopefully this stream manages to stay up, unlike last week. No one knows about last week's game. Sorry, Swindon. Good colour, good game day uniform matchup here today. Need to just... So Somerset have won the toss. Bear me 1 second, I just need to sort something. Hello. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, give me 1 second. That's a bit better. So Somerset have won the toss and they have elected to receive. Obviously, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chris Tevitt and I'll be on commentary for this SFC 1 West Week 2 game today. So these teams have met 7 times, with the Apache winning 6 of 7. Good reception there. Louis Trotman, current Gloucestershire, or former Gloucestershire Gladiator. He received it and he's caught by number 8, but the quick hands number 6 manages to get him there. Number 6 for Somerset, their defensive MVP, made his Somerset debut. His debut in the maroon and gold last week. 2 interceptions against Bournemouth. That Bournemouth Bobcats team is looking pretty good, if you ask me. Coach Rains bringing in some of his heavy hitters from, well, Bournemouth Uni Bobcats, which is difficult to say. Bournemouth Uni Bobcats. Trying to bring someone here. And it looks like we've got a jumper, which is strange because it's actually quite pleasant out here today. Got a 6-man ref crew as well. So Tom Golden is the QB for the Somerset Wyverns, and he's got Josh Eastley, number 0, as his running back. You know, these sort of matchups between a team who have played already versus a team who hasn't, you know, is there rust on the Apache? And if there is, how quickly will it take to absolutely remove it? So neutral zone infraction, or offside anyway. Offside, so the Somerset Wyverns are going to start this game with a 1st and 5. Hand off to 0. He's going to run right. He's going. And could this potentially be the first down of the Somerset Wyverns season at home here at Victoria Park in Taunton? It's looking that way. I mean, well, I mean, if you're looking at little victories here, Somerset already doing better than last week. The last time we were here in Victoria Park doing this game last year, scoreline was 35-0 to the Apache. So just keep that in mind. The first half of these twos games tends to be a bit tricky. It goes to Eastleigh again, but this time he is absolutely swamped there by number 63 of Bristol. Jonathan Edwards there, wrapping up the back. Just going to see where our referees are going to put him today. No, so going to be no loss on the play at all. But really using number 0, we've seen a counter play is what got them that first down. Goes to 0 again. 22 there on the tackle for Bristol. But it's been all on the ground so far today for Somerset. James Baines with the tackle. Looks to me that is going to result in a slight loss of yardage for the Wyverns. Wyverns, again, both these teams in a very, very tough division last year. I mean, you look at it, this division last year, you could turn around and say, hey, wasn't as strong as it potentially could have been. I think Bristol going out in the first round shows that obviously South Wales beating the Olympians in the playoffs last year, that was a bit of a surprise. So, bad snap. Golden has got it. He flings it. And I tell you what, number 14 was very, very close to having that for a reception. But the Somerset Wyverns offensive drive is going to be coming to an end, unless they do something tricky on this here punt. But, you know, can we see it? So that looks to be number 32, I want to say, for the Wyverns. Let's kick it away. 26 in motion for them. That's a good punt. Going right hand side. Taking a Wyvern bounce. It's going to be returned. Breaks one. Continues to break. Got the whole of the other side of the field to run to. Could we see some magic here from the Apache? And I'll tell you what, let's get a name for you. Number 27 there had a great, terrific run there. And that was looking like it was going to be a decent pin back for the Wyverns. But Hayden Lee is able to bring that up past the 50-yard line by 1. So they are going to be starting just 1 yard into Somerset territory for the first Bristol Apache offensive drive, or the first Bristol Apache offensive drive of the season. So Trujin, number 17, has got it, and he just bounces that one on the floor at the feet of number, I'm going to say 16 there for the Apache, Kieran Calvert. So, a nice quick opener here for the first drive of the game. So Louis Trotman playing one high safety. I don't see any flags, but there was definitely some movement. 17 being pursued there by the Wyverns. This is some good, and the referees are right to call that. The referees are right to call that. There's going to be some moaning there from the Apache, but nah, the referees were right on that one. Forward movement had stopped. That is going to be a loss. And I tell you what, that's a good defensive play there from the Wyverns. I do want to try. Where is number 32? I want to find him. Oh, so There was definitely some movement on that line. I didn't see the flag come in. Flag coming in from the other side of the pitch. That's going to be offside. So, you know, good defensive play there, but 17 for the Apache. Knew that it was free. It's going to be a 2nd and 5. Run up the middle. There was definitely some contact made there, but just being able to break through. And Ed Green, I mean, that man is a mean machine, and he has been for a fair few seasons, you know, commentating on some Bristol Apache games last year. Maybe the year before. I think the year before as well. He's been a name that, you know, when they give number 8 the ball wearing the Apache colours, you know that it's going. So on the 28-yard line now for the Apache. 16 in motion. Drop back. Fire into the middle. And that is picked off by number 2. And I tell you what a spectacular play. And another interception. Obviously not one already today, but another interception in terms of on their season record. But that ball was punched up into the air. I mean, it looked as though some of the Wyverns thought, well, that ball's in the air, that's just going to end up on the ground after being punched. But Sean Gerard Tapping is going to record an interception for his stat sheet. And they're going to get the Apache out of the scoring danger zone as the Wyverns are going to be taken over on what looks to be their own, I'm going to say 43. So, hand off to Eastleigh. He's got some space on that outside. And dragged down out of bounds. That's going to be a good gain. Let's see what our referees are saying. It looks like there's going to be another first down for the Wyverns. Let's get all this no first downs. Let's just go back to normal commentary. They've already got 2. The stigma's over. So it looks going to be a gain, a 12 on that play. As the Wyverns are encroaching here. Well, they're inside Apache territory anyway. Look, referees are calling for some flags. Oh, sorry, the Apache are calling for some flags. There are none. Called by number 23 of the Wyverns. A decent catch, but a very, very Brit Ball-esque sort of play there. Just running back moves. A linebacker goes, you can't do that. But at the end of the day, Richard Davies is going to bring in a snag for the Somerset Wyverns. Good throw, but it's only going to result in a gain of 4 yards here for Somerset. I wish Harry Owen was here. Couple of backs streaking up. Bit of a high snap, but they're going to try and fire it here. Goes out to Eastleigh. But Eastleigh just, I mean, you've got to be impressed with number 0 here as number 10 gets a capo kick for his Horrors. Let's just look at that. Let's look at that roll. So it's going to be a gain of, I think it's only going to be a gain of 3 on that play, but the Wyverns are, I mean, looking pretty healthy offensively. So 3rd and 3, 2.5. High snap again. That ball is over the head. That's going to be recovered by the Apache. And that is just not good. We saw that last time. Another high snap. They are absolutely ruining it. It's an awful thing to happen. And let me just go down and touch some grass. Let me see what the conditions are like. Could I sympathise? Ladies and gentlemen, it's dry. It's pretty damp. This is perfect. This is perfect snapping conditions, if I may say so myself. It's going pretty well for the Wyverns. I've got to say I'm impressed. But obviously the Apache are going to be looking to put some points on the board and not any numbers on any stat sheets for... Oh, there's a fumble! Oh, that's going to be close. I'm fairly certain that the Apache have got that from my angle anyway. Yeah, I think... So, no, that's going to be a Somerset ball. Oh, I mean, you've got to be happy if you're the Somerset Wyverns or you support the maroon and gold, because you've had an interception and you've had a fumble recovery. And it seems that high snap, any dreams and any memories of it, wiped off the board. Apart from if you're going to go back and watch it live on the Sport Tank YouTube page, like you are doing right now. So, Somerset, with a 1st and 10. They're going to be on their own 46, I'm going to say. That's where they're going to start. Bit of a high snap this time. Goes to Easley. Runs to the right, finds a brief hole there. He's going to have a gain of, I'm going to say 3. Matriculating the ball down the field, guys. You know, if you get 3.33 yards every play, you win the game. You win the game. Hank Strachan? I think it's Strachan. So, bit of a jet motion here. Goes to number 15, but 53, but there's a flag on the play. So Josh Shepherd on the tackle. It looks like we do have an injured Apache on the pitch. Decent little turnout here today for this SFC 1 West contest. You know, this is a very, very tough division to be in this year. Bournemouth obviously looking pretty decent with Coach Rains coming in and bringing some Bournemouth Uni Bobcats boys. Obviously can't forget about the former Premiership Solent Thrashers either. Apache, they're looking pretty decent. I think South Wales Warriors, they always find themselves in this sort of wild card position. And I think that's a fair place for South Wales to be. I feel like any sort of predictions that you could have for South Wales, don't even bother making them. Don't even think about them, because you don't know what you're going to get with South Wales. Whereas Somerset, I think Somerset, even they know that they're fighting the big fight this year. Because they have got a lot of players, as you can see, but a lot of them are rookies. So it's going to be a holding penalty on Somerset on number 41. Name and shame. So that's going to be going 10 yards back for the Wyverns. Pretty temperate day here in Taunton. So now the Wyverns are going to be facing a 2nd and 14, 15. So Golden's going to look to throw, look over the middle, and he's going to find someone. But a swarm of Apache is going to bring him to the ground. I'd say that's a good call to action there from the Apache, but I mean a good throw and catch there, because that's going to be resulting in at least 8 yards. So now it's looking like a 3rd and 7 here for the Wyverns. They need another play like that. But you can see that Golden is definitely favouring the middle of the field as his prime throwing destination. Because it seems to be, if it's not going into the hands of number 0, who isn't actually in, Chris Singleton in at back. Trips left. Golden is going to be looking that way. And he's not going to be able to find number 23. So now the punting unit comes back on for the Wyverns. But, I mean, it's difficult to really say because it's been pretty evenly matched so far. We've seen 2 Apache offensive drives, 1 ending in an interception, 1 ending in a fumble. It's just locking in, isn't it? I mean, I'm focused here on number 32, that man on the edge. Elliot Trotman. You love to see it. Does support the Jets, though, which is a shame. 26 in motion. He's got it once again. Going for that back right corner. It was returned fairly well last time, but it's going to be going out the back of the end zone this time. So I imagine the Apache are feeling pretty hard done by, given that they've had an interception and a fumble. Both go the way of the Wyverns. I accidentally stepped on my umbrella. Not that anyone cares. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I feel like there's something going here for the Wyverns. You know, I'm trying to mentally picture the momentum, the sport tank momentum meter in my head. What colour would it be? And I'd say that it's not massively, but it's got a maroon tinge. Zoom that back out a little bit. That's the best. I've got a man in motion here. He's going to be going out to him. Looking around the outside there, number 12 there, I think overcommitted a bit on that tackle for the Wyverns, but still going to be enough to get the man out of bounds. Number 16 for Bristol. Kieran Calvert, they were down this end practicing, or doing some catching drills. I wouldn't say practicing because that sounds like they've never done it before, but no, they were catching. I tell you what, they were some pretty spectacular. I mean, I wish I could move like that, but I can't even move like that on Madden. Which is why if I play Madden, I just play right guard. So still 1 high for the Wyverns. Drop back. That ball's going out. Looking for Calvert, and that was certainly close. But he's going to bring up a 3rd and 6 now for the Apache. I mean, the stop here. I mean, this game's a lot closer than I thought it would be, but as we've said before, this game tends to be fairly close in the opening salvos. So 3rd and 6 for the Apache. They want to jump on it. But there's a low snap there. QB looks to be taking it himself. And that's going to go nowhere. I think, again, we've seen the snaps here causing some problems for both squads here. And it's going to be 4th and 2 as the Apache look to bring on their punting unit. So the punting unit now for the Apache. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've not done a solo commentary by myself in a long time. So, Coach Flowers, that was another bad snap, but he manages to get it away for a great punt. That's going to take a Wyverns bounce. Well, I tell you what, Great job there from number 5. I know his name's not actually Coach Flowers, but that's what he likes to be called, so that's what I'm going to call him. But I mean, that could have been disastrous there for the Apache, but he managed to get the ball, have it on the ground, and managed to get it away. But that is going to be taking a great bounce if you are the Somerset Wyverns, as they look to be starting once again inside of Bristol territory. So Eastleigh, number 0, back in for them, and it's going to go to him. I mean, they've loved this play, having him run around to the right, but didn't work as well that time, as number 54 for Bristol manages to bring him down, Alex Moorfield. He's seen that book before, and I mean, if you are a Somerset Wyvern, you're not going to like what I'm about to tell you, because it looks to be number 0 shaken up on that tackle. Let's just hope that he's a bit winded. He's holding his chest, which could indicate that he's winded. Or obviously worse, but obviously if he's winded, then he can just sit out for a bit. Keep the faith, ladies and gentlemen. So that is going to result in a loss of 1 for Somerset. So a 2nd and 11. Chris Singleton in at running back. Got a man in motion. Going to fake the jet. No. Oh, they are going to fake the jet and hand it up the middle. But it's going to go nowhere. Singleton couldn't get any yards on that one. And in fact, it's going to result in another loss of a yard. So 3rd and 12 for the Wyverns. We have seen that Golden does have an arm, and some of his receivers are, they can get their Nike Air Vapor gloves, or whatever the receiver glove is called, around the ball. So it's not looking out of the way for Somerset here. Better snap, bit lofty, flings it over the middle, and what a grab that was. But I mean, from this angle, number 46 for the Apache had his fingers scrape that ball. Oh, wow. That's a good camera angle, ladies and gentlemen. Pat myself on the back. Someone come here and pat me on the back. I want you to hear this. That's me pat myself on the back. So, Somerset looking good here. Fresh set of downs. They're going to be starting on what looks to be Bristol's 20. So handoff, ball is out. I mean, very, very strange there. I mean, it looked as though Golden had that ball for a second and sort of looked at the ball, had the running back move, and as the running back did not take that ball, Golden sort of just comedy stood there for a while, going like Looney Tunes. It's like when the floor gets removed underneath, and they just go whoop, and then they fall. But I mean, could have been worse. Only a loss of 2 on the play for the Wyverns. Fires it into the middle, but that one just bounces off the floor. So 3rd and 12 now for the Wyverns. I mean, even if it's just a field goal, what a boost of confidence it would be for Somerset if they do manage to strike first blood here, because it seems as though the Wyverns are getting a bit more. They're well greased, and I think that is one of the benefits of being able to play in week 1, whilst the Apache, season debut. The rust is real, ladies and gentlemen. The rust is real. Bit of a low snap there. Golden drops back, fires out into the middle, but firing that into a sea of grey jerseys. I hear calls of punt. So no field goals on the day today. Well, yeah, anyway. And this looks like the Apache punt returner isn't there, but I imagine they're looking at this fairly strangely. It's going to take a fair bit of finesse here to keep this ball not rolling into the end zone. But I mean, let's see if we can do it. Going to roll out, and it's going to be returned to him. 22 has got the sideline. It's going to be interesting to see where they're going to end up putting him. It's the problem with angles, ladies and gentlemen. I have to rely on these refs. What a good job these refs are doing. 6 from me today. Good number. Good number of refs. So number 6 there for Somerset. He was definitely the defensive captain at Gloucestershire when we played there. Tied the University of Gloucestershire Gladiators interception record with their former head coach Dan Pell. So, you know, it looks to me this could be the end of the queue, because they're coming down this end, and it certainly is. So it's going to be the end of Q1 here. It's scoreless here, and I tell you what, it's probably a bit more even than many would have thought. I'm going to check my Stataroonies, because I'm fairly certain that the record is 7 games played, 6 over for the Apache. So, which could very well jinx the Wyverns. But definitely going to be the end of the queue. So we're here in Q2 here of this SFC1 West game, which means I can take the zoom off slightly. How's everyone doing today? How is everyone doing today? That is what I want to know. Not as hot. Wish it was warmer. Oh, so here we go. So not 6 of 7, 7 of 8. 7 of 8. With the closest game being, apart from the Wyverns win, of course, which came on the 7th of July 2019, 19-10. Closest game after that, 18-14 in 2022. Again, it's just interesting. It's interesting to see. Like, I'd love to make some wild assertions, but I don't know if I can. Because it's week 2, and this isn't uni ball where I get paid to make wild assertions. So I have to be polite in uni ball. So here we go now. 17's going to be rolling out. He's looking to fire it, and oh, great catch by number 16. They're going to call that. No, we're just going to call that in. It was certainly close. I think he was down in bounds. Yeah, he got both feet in. And that's one of the things where, as much as I can question it in my own head slightly, the fact that the Somerset Wyverns coaches were standing right there and they didn't feel the need to question it probably means that it's fine. Probably means that it's fine. So, Fenn, number 17, for the Apache. They are, I mean, he's definitely athletic. Put a fresh set of downs here for the Apache. Wyverns need to switch up their defensive front. And firing it into the middle, wide open is number 89. And Louis Trotman is trying to drag him down. And the ball is out, or at least that's what the Somerset Wyverns are saying. But there's a whole host, a parade of whistles to the contrary. TJ Ajayi he had no maroon jerseys around him on that catch. So no Second fumble recovery for the Wyverns, but it is going to be a fresh set of downs for the Apache. 2 plays, 2 first downs, looking good. Now you can say this momentum meter is going great. Green switching sides. 16 switching sides, Calvert switching sides. That's going to go to Ed Green. And just the speed, just an absolute pleasure to watch number 8 play football. And he's going to have another fresh set of downs here for the Apache, 3 in a row. You know, they've got some great coaches, have the Apache, and they could very well have seen something that they like. You know, Gary Gardner, James Talbot at OC, Chris Taylor at DC. Gary Gardner, former head coach of the Bristol Barracuda as well. So drop back. Fenn's going to lead someone in. And Calvert, I mean, if the end zone was just a little bit longer, I imagine that would have found him. And it would have been enough for a score, but no. So the first down streak is snapped for Bristol. But I mean, given that they're on the 15-yard line of the Wyverns, I can't imagine they're too worried about it. I don't want any more first downs, touchdowns. Aren't the changing rooms here weird? Those 2 buildings over there. They look like something, but I run a professional broadcast. So, second and 10. Goes to Ed Green. No, Fenn's got it himself. He's going to take it round. And he's going to meet. I mean, meet is the key word there. He met someone, and he met their meat with a big hit there. So QB keeper is going to result in 7 yards for the Apache. Do you think Tom Brady on commentary ever talks about meat? I bet he does. I bet he does. So, 3 yards for a first down for the Apache. They'd love to get some breathing room or a touchdown, you know. Simple as. Wyverns have stopped it twice already. So it's going to go to Ed Green again. And I tell you what, if you're the Wyverns, you've got to be happy with that. Because now you are forcing the Apache to have to make a decision. Are they going to be going for the field goal? Or are they going to be looking to chance it here? It's 4th and 3. It's 4th and 3 and it doesn't look like there's going to be a change of personnel. In fact, Fenn is coming back in, the QB for the Apache. This is where I could love to put up a poll. What plays it's going to be? Pass, QB run. You're going to be giving it to Ed Green again. I think somehow this ends up in the hands of 16. Looking for him. But no, that was TJ Ajayi, I believe. It was TJ Ajayi with a brilliant catch, so I was wrong, but not going to be enough for a touchdown. But that is going to be, I think it may very well be on the 1 yard line, if I'm completely honest. I think it is. I think that's on the 1. That's either 1 or 2. That's either 1 or 2 here for the Apache. No, that's the sideline, Chris. What are you doing? There we go. So just fires off into the middle. Batted away there by the Wyverns. So 2nd and goal is the call. I want to see what sort of package they're going with here. I was too busy accidentally filming the sideline. Again, ladies and gentlemen, please, if you want to be a cameraman for Sport Tech, please, because it's It's just me. It's just me here today. And it'll be just me next week as we go to Shropshire or Telford for the Revolution versus the Bulls. But so that's going to be taken up the middle. Not a surprise at all, but I don't see a call. I tell you what, they're not calling that. I mean, to force the Apache to a third down in this situation, again, defense of the Wyverns, pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm impressed. Okay. Bit wide, Flowers on one side, Calvert, and I don't have a name for number 18 off the top of my head. Fires it out to Calvert, and he's going straight in. Just like that. I mean, a very, very sort of strange drive there for the Apache, if I'm completely honest. Starting out, it was going boom, 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 but then, I mean, not to use any sort of cliches here, but it seemed like the Wyverns locked in, forced them into a fourth down situation. They managed to get it, and even get to third and goal from the 2. That's still impressive for the Wyverns. Can they respond? But before we find out their response, we're going to have a look to see if they're going to be able to kick it through. So number 22 for them, James Baines, is going to add another one on. The scoreline right now, 7-0 to the Apache. Again, this game's been a bit closer than I thought it would be. You know, sorry to say, Wyverns, but I believe if you look at because the Sport Tank, we are back doing community picks now. Community picks. So that means that I do my picks, not for Britball, but for Uniball. I can look at you guys and go, hey, that pick's awful. That pick's awful. See how you like it. Does it hurt your feelings? Does it make you cry? Does it make you stay up at night, cry in the shower because people don't like my picks? I'm useless, I'm worthless, they don't like my picks, makes me cry. See, how are you guys going to deal with that when I get to say your picks are bad? You going to be able to handle that? Yeah, probably. But even still, that's why I'm happy I don't pick for senior ball games. Tee. Only pick for uni ball games. Tee. So, only the second kickoff we have seen today. Falling off the old stick. Apache are going to get the ball back after half time. Baines kicks one through, and now he's ready to kick it away. That is going to be caught there. I believe that's number 1 for the Wyverns. Has got it. Trying to go around the outside. Going to have some room, and it looks like we may have a Wyvern down. And we hear some shouting, so potentially they may be trying to get some yellow laundry. But yeah, next week's a bit of a long old drive to go and do Telford. And I just wanted to go because my friend's the QB. But actually, he told me today that he's not the QB today. So yeah. But again, it's a bit of a rare one, as I say. So can the Wyverns stop talking about next week, Chris? Lock in. Here we go. So going to be a handoff up the middle. So Easterly is back in, which is good to see. He is back in, which is good to see. And he's going to have a good first play back in, as he's going to have a second and 5. So a gain of 5 on the play. Oh, we do have an Apache down. Wyverns have definitely got one of the best kits in the league. Do not tell me otherwise, because you're only lying to yourself. I'm going to come around. Everyone's happy. It's a good day here. Also, sorry to Swindon Storm for not being able to get it this week. Got it this week, though. Got it this week. He's walking off the field, which means I'm going to go back round. So it's not a gain of 5, it's a gain of 4. The referees have walked that one. Well, I say the referees. I don't think the referee is. I think it's just the person with the stick. No, it's a gain of 6. Sorry, I'm going the wrong way. So 4 to go. Another hand from the outside. Eastleigh's got it, but again, swarm of grey jerseys. This is what I don't get about Britball, or I guess football in general, is that when you've heard the whistle and then you see the ball go out, why'd you yell fumble? The whistle's blown. That means the play's over. That means the play is over. So going to be a loss on that run play by Eastleigh by a yard. So I'm going to expect to see Golden try and get it off here. Again, he does favour the middle. He does drop back. He's caught by number 25. But I'm unsure if that is going to be enough for a first down. It is, and that's only going to be a gain of 2. Again, off into the flats, but there's just not enough space for that receiver to turn upfield. Who is calling me? Just going to check to see if this isn't... Oh no, it's Roger Goodell. Yeah, I'll call him back at half time. So, punting unit comes on once again for the Wyverns. What a very, very strange snap. And the punter's going to have to keep it. And he's moving around. I mean, I don't think that was designed. I don't think I've ever seen a snap that high. I'm not entirely sure if we're going to be able to go back and watch that. But that, yeah. I've never seen a snap that high. And it's not that windy. I don't think the wind caught that one. Let me just check something. He's calling me on a Sunday, man. So the Apache going to have it inside of Wyvern's territory. Fires off into the middle and almost picked off for a second time. That was absolutely phenomenal. Let's see if I can get that back. I think maybe slightly too wide. But I mean, that man must be very, very good at basketball. I'm just saying. Vert. Do you know anything about verts? Anyone? Not full verts, I mean your vertical leap, because I don't. Seems like it's the Chris Tebbett show today, because I'm just talking about my knees. But, no. So, gain of like maybe half a yard on that one. So it's going to be given to Calver. He's going to be running around the outside. Flag on the play. But he's sort of been the money man today for the Apache so far. He's got him on the board. Gadget man. So holding on the Apache. I believe that was Connor Day, number 49, who's going to be sending the Apache backwards. They're now going to be looking at a 2nd and 13 by the looks of things. So, Fenn's rolling out to his left, fires it. What a grab there. once again, you know, some plays, you know, I really would have liked to scream how great that was, but then all they get from their own sideline is a polite golf clap, and it feels out of place. Feels out of place. So not quite enough for a first down for the Apache. They're going to be facing a 3rd and 2. And I think even if they are forced into a 4th down situation here, as long as it's not a drastic loss of yardage, they'll probably be going for it. Green in the backfield. Fenn's going to take himself rolling out slightly to his right. Fires that over the head. But I mean, for me, that's definitely the Apache just trying to take a shot. They're just trying to take a shot. Flag on the play, though. So we're going to go over to our white hat referee to see what it is, who it's on. Was there an offside call? Don't know. Let's see. I think it could even be DPI on that. Oh. OPI. So OPI. So this... I think I may have jinxed the Apache there because I said, unless they have a drastic loss of yardage, they're probably going to be going for it. And I think 15-yard penalty, that's about as... I mean, that is as drastic a loss of yardage as you could feasibly get on a flag anyway. So, I mean, definitely out of 4th down, let's go for it territory. So what they can cook here. Number 14, Ryan Langstone's in. And Fenstrom back. He's going to absolutely heave it. He's got so much time. Absolutely heaves it. And it looked to me that Apache player slipped. I don't see any yellow laundry on the field. But I mean, a drastic loss of yardage. Yeah, and here comes the punting unit for the Apache. I mean, that OPI really, really halted the momentum of Bristol. So Flowers, number 5, comes back on to punt it. He said to me that he was worried that I would make jokes about his red gloves, but I won't. I think they're cute. Seagulls coming in. Not anyone cares. And Flowers gets it out to the left-hand side, taking a decent Bristol bounce. It is hard to see on the camera, but that's taking a decent Bristol bounce. I think one of the Bristol deep men tried to get that down at the 1, but that trickles into the end zone, and the Wyverns are going to take over again. Why did I say Wyverns like that, not Wyverns? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. So still 7-0 in this game. I'd say it's been pretty evenly matched. This game, pretty good. I've been enjoying it. I would say it's my first senior ball game this season, but I did stay and watch Swindon versus Hereford last week. So, lock in. So, number 41 has got it. Decent run, I think. I believe that is Chris Singleton. Yeah, it's Chris Singleton. Lock in. Keep saying lock in, because I can just remember people's names. Gain of 6 on the play for Somerset. Definitely feels that the offense for the Apache is more explosive. I will say that. So pass out to the left-hand side and it's broken up. So third and three for the Wyverns. It was 2nd and 3 when I said that because the play wasn't over yet. Not locked in. You know, the Apache doing a very, very good job of locking up the pass of the Wyverns and Golden. They don't need a whole lot here for a first down. And it's going to be a handoff and just immediately met there. I think we're going to see another appearance of the Wyverns special teams unit brackets punt. So Baines and Lee back to return, with Lee being the deeper man for the Apache. We've seen some high snaps out of here. Better snap this time. Ball is away, but that looks like it's going to be going over to the sideline. And that is going to bounce off the foot of head coach of the Bristol Apache, Gary Gardner's foot at what looks to be the 31-yard line of the Wyverns. And you can hear the Apache, they could see the angle that ball was heading. So 3 minutes left. That goes to Calvert on the run. He's breaking tackle. He's got a lot of space, a lot of time there. And Louis Trotman just absolutely bottled it. He's going to be very, very unhappy with himself. And just like that, 16 for the Apache finds the end zone again for Bristol. You know, unfortunately, we did see that from Louis Trotman last week in Bournemouth. Very, very close to saving a touchdown for the Wyverns, but not managing to get it done again there. But again, it's such a strange game, this, I feel, because sometimes the Apache are making this look quite difficult, but in times like this, they're making it look quite hard. And that is good. So 14-0 is the score here in Taunton. 3 minutes left, so probably going to be under that now. I imagine a 2-minute warning is expected. But I mean, 16 is the money man right now for the Apache. Both touchdowns coming from Kieran Calvert. And it's difficult because as much as that seemed like I was being quite harsh to number 6, the Wyverns, what you have to understand is I used to live with him, so I'm allowed to do that. And I just know that during the halftime break, he's going to come up to me and say, "Did you get that on camera?" And I'm going to have to, unfortunately, you know, look him dead in the eyes and say, "Yeah, I did, mate. Sorry. Sorry. Sorry for live streaming the game." Baines gets it away. Number 1 has it bobbled. And I mean, they tried for a reverse, but it wasn't great. You know, like, I feel like flag or 2 minute. Flag or 2 minute. Yeah, I feel as though that you can only really do that reverse for kick off returns if the ball is fielded properly first time. If you fumble the kickoff, don't then do the reverse. Don't do the reverse, because it needs that precise timing. Basically, gentlemen, I see so many teams this year do the reverse, and I think I've ever seen it work like twice. So Golden drops back, looks to fire into the middle, and that's picked off. That is picked off. That is picked off, and that is a pick 6 for number 56 of the Apache. And just like that, this game is getting out of hand for Bristol. Ben across. He's not going to be cross with that, I can tell you that, as he's just put another 6 on the board for the Apache. I mean, you've got to be happy with that. You've got to be happy with that. I will say, though, I feel like that has sort of been brewing. Golden's passes have been quite shallow and in the middle, which is where you'd expect, a player. Basically, he's thrown it to basically exactly where I would assume that a linebacker would be. So, yeah. But I mean, just as Baines got off the field, he's back on the field. And he's already made it 21-0. Now again, this game was looking, but I mean, after what a big run from Calvert made it look very, very easy, and then a pick 6 from Cross. Yeah, the Wyverns are going to need a big offensive chat here to keep something going. But again, I'm still leaving this game pretty impressed with the Wyverns, if I'm completely honest. Leaving this game, he says, before half time. Why does he say this? Is he going home? No, I'm not. I'm trying to give you some scores around the league. At half time. Not now. Not now. Not now. You can see the Apache are happy for Ben Cross there. You can be happy he's got that on film. Left side ready. Doesn't do it. So Baines gets it away, this time drilling it down the middle. Bounces in front of number 1. Bounces around number 1. Oh gosh. Running around the left hand side. I tell you what, given that ball was just dribbling around at his feet, you've got to be happy that he's managed to get it that far out. So, I mean, they've got to completely forget about that last drive. How short it was. What happened at the end? Truthfully, I'm interested to see what the Warriors Rushmore score is. One of the community picks, one of the picks was the over-under. Always harsh doing over-under, I feel, but I've done them in the past, so I can't say anything. So, UE bullets. So here we go. Can the Wyverns finally get some points on the board? Golden once again throws it into the middle there, but no, unable to find his receiver. I tell you, there was a good instance of breaks used there by one of the Apache defenders as he looked to prime Ray Lewis him there, but alas, not to be. 2nd and 10 for Somerset. 21-0 the score. I can't give you any more stats. Here we go. Nice and wide. Got a man in motion for Somerset. Coming across. Running over. Goes to Eastleigh again. It seems though the Apache know that Eastleigh is the man to go to for the Wyverns. but still going to have a gain of 3, but now on a 3rd and 7. In fact, I wouldn't say that. I'd say a 3rd and 8, and that looks to me to be the 2-minute warning. So 2 minutes left in the first half of Bristol versus Somerset. Score is 21-0. 2 offensive touchdowns by Kieran Calvert, and then a pick 6 by Ben Cross, number 56 of the Apache. So it's going to be a handoff, but number 63 of the Apache just absolutely swarmed. One-man swarm. A one-man swarm there from Jonathan Edwards. He's going to set the Wyverns back behind the sticks. I'm waiting for the down marker to move. Yeah, he's going to be behind the sticks. So 4th and 11 here for the Wyverns. They need a decent punt here. They need a big punt. And we've seen a couple of high snaps here. Is that a jinx? Probably. I'm going to try and find out the punter's number at halftime because I can't tell if that's 82-32. So bounces off the floor in front of him. And that's blocked. Exactly the opposite of what they needed. And it's another touchdown. Just like that, a blocked punt recovered by the Apache. And this game has absolutely swung on a dime in the favour of Bristol. Has a scoreline now 27-0. Did I jinx it? Yes. So once again, Baines has been heavily tasked with his leg in the last sort of 5-10 minutes, as he's had to kick 3 extra points and kick off 3 times as well. But this game has absolutely swung on a dime here for the Apache. Kick is up. And the kick is no good. So the score is going to be standing here 27-0. See the snap there for the Wyverns. Just a bit low. Punter had it down by his feet. Giving the Apache enough time to get there for the block. 27-0 is the score. Got one of the Wyverns players saying, watch for the onside here. Would Bristol be so bold as to do an onside here in the dying minutes of the first half? Oliver Brew thinks there's an onside lurking. Again, Baines' leg has got to be tired here. He's done a lot of kicking in the last 5 minutes. No onside for him there. Heading over to Elliot Trotman. Elliot Trotman bouncing in front of Trotman. Trotman's now got a block for number 1. And a good return there. Danny Phillips on the duties there. Both teams have got all 3 of their timeouts here if the Wyverns are going to be looking to take a shot. I do think the Wyverns, I think even they're aware, they're going to be a team that's going to develop and mature. Goes on. They have a lot of rookie players. It's never a bad thing, but again, we are only in week 2 of the season, ladies and gentlemen. We are only in week 2. If you can tell by the things at the bottom that says week 2. So Trips on the left, they're going to try and run it here at the middle. Nothing much going on there. So I'm not trying to do like 4 things at once. As per 13 comments. Newest comments. So again, maybe half. So in the other live stream game today, Wembley Stallions 11, Thunder 0. That game's still going. Obviously, this is kicked off at 2. 30-0 to the Humber Warhawks. Bit of a low snap. Golden fires it out, finds number 25, but he's instantly brought down, or instantly wrapped up and then brought down there by number 47 of the Apache. And that looks to be the end of the first half here. 28-0 the score. The Coventry Phoenix leading 16-6. Northants leading 12-0. I'm going to go on to the Nottingham versus Newcastle stream, as I am, and I bet you they hate this, former Nottingham season. Did I play a game for Nottingham season? Yes. He play snaps multiple for them? Yes, I did, which means I can claim that I am a former Nottingham Caesar. I tried to get them to give me a ring, and they said no. They said, no, Chris, you are too fat. They didn't say that, I just didn't play for them that year. No way, oh. Come on. So it's quite, I will touch base with this game. I just want to find out what the scores. Oh my gosh, Newcastle beat the Caesars 10-6. Okay, so let's talk about this game. This game is looking pretty evenly matched going into, I'd say, probably 5 minutes before the end of the first half. But I mean, let's start off. It was looking pretty evenly matched, and Calvert rips off a big run to the right-hand side, goes in for a touchdown. Then, on the Wyverns, next offensive play, a pick 6 by linebacker Ben Cross, and then a blocked punt on that offensive drive. Went straight to the house. Oh no, it was already in the house. They had to recover it inside the house, which is why we got it. 3 scores very, very, very quickly from the Apache. Puts the Wyverns up against it. It's looking pretty difficult here for the Wyverns. Defensively, they've got some things going, I do think, but offensively, it's not quite working out. You could say that I think the Apache, we were talking about, or I said at the start of the game, how long is it going to take for that rust to wear off for Bristol? And I think it's pretty easy to say that the rust is sparkling clean chrome for the Apache. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to let you go. I don't have any more scores from around the league, apart from ones I already have. That's it. Join us in 10-15 minutes when we will be back here for the second half of the Bristol Apache versus the Somerset Wyverns. And the scoreline right now, Bristol 28, Somerset 0. Hello gentlemen, we are back here in Victoria Park in Somerset, or Taunton. And the question is, can the Wyverns respond from 3 very, very quick scores from the Apache? But they're not going to get the chance to first anyway, because they're going to be kicking off to the Apache. Given that the Wyverns won the toss and elected to receive at the start of the game. Because that's how it works. So a bit of a shorter one there. Going to be taken back by number 27 of the Apache. They're going to get that past the midfield mark and start over in Somerset's side of the field. So actually, no, I think they might actually just be starting 1 yard in their own side of the field. QB throws it out wide to number 7. Good reception. There we go, that's a bit better. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Seven in motion for the Apache. Just fires it out. And looking for TJ Ajayi, but number 5 for the Wyverns was all over him. 2nd and 10 now for the Apache. So rolling out to the right hand side. He's going to take it himself now. Tries to hurdle number 2. And I believe they're saying that it counts. So, are hurdles an official stat? That is the question. Yes, they are. So fresh to the downs here for the Apache on the 27-yard line of the Wyverns. They're going quickly. Fenn looking over this way, looking for TJ Ajayi. So we had one ref saying touchdown over on our sideline, and then we had the ref in the middle calling that incomplete. Interesting call. To be fair, I can see where both of them are coming from. I can see where both of them are coming from. So, 2nd and 10. So 2nd and 10. Three receivers on the left-hand side. Then pumps this way. Gets back to 81 on the other side. They can have a fresh set of downs. Just outside of the first and goal part of the world. So you know what, I'm pretty happy that there's football happening on this side of the field, on this end of the field. It's first and 10. Try to find number 7, they just cannot get it. Second and 10 here. Again, the Apache have started pretty quickly, but we've seen the Wyverns manage to slow them down when they're bordering on the red zone. Tell you what, there's a good amount of refs here today. We've got 2 on the goal line, 1 in the back. Send a man in motion. Going in on a jet. 7's looking this way. And just like that, 7 is in for another touchdown. I would say that I'd replay that, but I was worried that they would, what's the word? Hit my camera. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I can already hear that they are going to be going for 2. So here we go, going for 2. Looking at Mercy clock this, and that is caught by Flowers, number 5. And just like that, we do have an injured Apache down. So, but it looks like, unless the Wyverns get something going here, it's Mercy clock, o'clock. Yeah, and we can hear the refs talking. It's interesting, there's a referee here with a trainee ref. It's just interesting to hear what them talk, interesting to hear him teach them how to be referees. Do more refereeing, everyone. It's not half time. So Bristol looking to kick it away. Louis Trotman swearing on camera. Not good. Not good. So E.T. Elliot Trotman has got the ball and he fumbles it, and that is recovered by the Apache, or at least it looks that way. And Harry Owen is absolutely furious. He is absolutely furious. So the Apache, who again, I mean, if you're just looking at in terms of game time, 4 scores in a pretty quick time frame, and they're going to be looking to do it again. Goes out to Calvert, and he's immediately roughed up there by number 15, gets him out of bounds. Got to be impressed here with Bristol. Quick momentum flooding. The momentum meter is grey. It's so grey. But we are on a running clock now, ladies and gentlemen. So, lock in. So 2nd and 11 now. Number 15 for the Wyverns managing to get Calvert out of bounds. Still single high with Trotman, number 6, as the high man. Bit of a high snap. QB keeper. With number 7 on his. You just see a number 7 there. We're going to have. We're going to have a Wyvern down. But Luke Holloway in at QB. Or in number 7. Did run a man over. Let's try and find some scores from around the league. We're on an injury timeout. We will be in, well, I, anyway, will be in Shropshire, in Telford next week, for the Shropshire Revolution, the old Shroppy Rev, versus the Birmingham Bulls. In some of the results this week, Newcastle beat the Nottingham Caesars 10-6. That one started at 12. So we were able to get that one to you. I'm going to go and have a look at the score post. Switch it to newest. Okay. So 5 minutes ago, Stallions leading the Thunder 25-6. It's currently 12 minutes ago. It was 16-12 for the Coventry Phoenix over the East Kilbride Pirates. Warhawks are up 42-7, nearly half time. Lancashire Buccaneers, they're up 14-0. 41 minutes ago, Sandwell were beating the Surge 10-7. Northants lead 12-0. Yeah, not much really say. Bristol starting out hot. Players still down. Have a look now. I'm just not trying to get anyone. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to go to a break here because I don't think that we're going to be seeing any recompense for this particular injury soon. So we'll be back with you in just a little bit. Oh no. No, he's up. He is back up on his feet. Okay, that's good. Good. Round of applause from both sides there. So we should be resuming football shortly. First and 10 for the Apache on the Wyverns 31. Holloway, number 7 in. At QB. 85, 16, 24. Looks to be an empty set here for the Apache. So Holloway's looking, fires it to 24, right in the middle. Gonna have enough for a first down. Also not a first set of downs, they're just off by 1. So man jump there. They're asking for a free play. They're not going to get it. So full start there by the Apache. Their 2nd and 1 is now looking like a 2nd and 6. Because it is 2nd and 6. So Holloway drops back. Almost sacked. He's going to have enough for a first down. But 99 of the Wyverns is going to bring him down before any more damage is done to the scoreboards. Ben Nation. So from the 13-yard line now of the Wyverns are the Apache. Handoff to Calvert, number 16, on the sweep. He's still upright. And he's going to be taken out of bounds by 95 and number 6 of the Wyverns. So Calvert's sweep is going to get them 5. So 2nd and 5 for the Apache. So 2 backs in now for the Apache. Flag flying. So Calvert, number 16, is going to be drawing a false start penalty, which means that the Apache will be going back to a 2nd and 10. So Holloway drops back, being pursued, just throws it up for Flowers. And what a catch there by number 5. Close to getting one for celebration there, but they're sharing the love around here as the score is now 41-0. So it looks to me to be that they are going to be going for 2. So Holloway's looking once again, trying to get Flowers' octopus, but it just doesn't exist for them. The score is going to remain 41-0 to the Apache. So Apache look to kick off again. So Baines, once again, looks to boot it away. Definitely caught by the wind there. Goes past Elliot Trotman, goes into the hands of number 14. They switch it, or the fake switch, but Ed Green is right there. And I think that the Wyverns are going to have that down at their own 19. Looks to me to be a change of QB perhaps for Somerset. Alex Timmins is now in. Hand off to 25. Couldn't get past his own O-line that were pushed back. Timmins tried to come in and push him, but wasn't to be. Loss of 1.5 on the play for Somerset. You know, obviously, I think when you get past that sort of 28 scoreline, it gets to the part where you start rotating again. If you've got a very young squad like the Wyverns do, I mean, having everyone getting a rep is important for later on in the season. And off to 25 again, caught up, but I mean, just a mess in the middle. 54 leading the charge. They're going to blow that dead. Maybe, I think that's going to be a gain of 2. And Ryan Clancy there, he's the new running back in. Looks to me to be the end of Q3. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we are in a running clock, and I do feel the rain starting to hit my hand. So here we are, scoreline 41-0, and we are in Q4. Wyverns have got a long way to go on this third down. It's going to be a long walk. Past 7. Join Micah and guests. Not sure if Oz will be on this week. Good plethora of guests. I can feel it. One day I'll be drafted in to make an appearance, and I will make sure to, do the best I can. But that's a 7:30, and we're going to talk about all the Britball news, all the results from this week, all the picks, all the predictions, all coming at you tomorrow at 7:30. And then next weekend, starting at 12, it will be the Shropshire Revolution versus the Birmingham Bulls. But right now, fourth quarter, 41-0 the score to the Bristol Apache over the Wyverns. Wyverns currently facing a 3rd and 9 here, and they're a long way down the other side of the pitch. So, Timmins looking, oh gosh, and 33 had it in his grip. But Tom Major just could not bring it in, and the punt team comes on for the Somerset Wyverns. Good kit. That's all I'm saying. So they've been in this situation before, and it has been blocked by the Apache. One of those 3 very, very quick scores. Ball is away, but that's heading over to the Apache sideline. And they called heads. So the Apache are going to be taken over with some pretty decent field position here. Not that they really need it, but I mean, it's definitely been a case today where you've seen the rust come off the Apache. Even realistically, what we sort of expected between these two teams in the first quarter, but as it's been going on, you can see that the Apache, again, I don't know, Rust-Oleum? Did that get rust off? So Holloway in at QB with Ed Green, our running back. Imagine they'll try and get Ed Green on the touchdown today. And almost picked off there by Somerset. But not enough. 2nd and 10. 4. The Apache. No, very, very light smatterings of drizzle from above are coming. Gets any more than this, have to break out the corporate umbrella. Don't tell Steve that the corporate umbrella broke during Cardiff versus Warwick, because he wouldn't be very happy with that. But I was doing the game. Bit of a low snap there, goes to Ed Green, straight up the middle. But, I mean, that was a good tackle there by, I want to say that's number 8. Or is that number 2? Number 2, actually, of Somerset. Sean Gerrard tapping on that tackle. I mean, Ed Green's a big man to get down, and he's got a lot of power. So, reminds me of Cooper DeJean taking down Derrick Henry. Just not almost had the leg lift, almost had the spine buster, but no. So 6 yards to go for a first down. It's going to go to Ed Green again, this time on the left-hand side. Oh no, he's still going. He's still moving. That's going to be a fresh set of downs. I've been able to tightrope. Obviously, it's, you know, as far away as it can be from the camera. So it's a little bit difficult. But enough for a first down for the Apache. And I was about to say, well, they're running the ball. They've worried about the clock. It's a running clock. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. So it's going to be a first and goal for Bristol. Looking to extend their lead here. Last time they played here in Victoria Park, it was 35-0. They've now got that out. It's going to be right up the middle, and a good stop there from the Wyverns. And one thing I do appreciate about the Wyverns is, despite the fact that they're 41-0 down, they're very much cheering on the defensive successes. Got a man in a Land Rover coming around. I imagine there's an injured player to pick up. Yeah, it is. So second and goal here for Bristol. Again, I really do like the Southwest one this year. It's got very, very, very difficult. You know, when Bournemouth and Solent play, that's a good game. When Somerset and South Wales, and Bristol and Solent. Again, just a good old. And Ed Green just bowls through. He's not had one today, and I imagine Bristol are going to try to get Ed Green on the board, but I don't think he's got there in that play. But straight up the middle for Bristol. You know, I'm sure it's not becoming too much of a factor, but the wind is starting to pick up. It's getting a little bit darker. It's not as crisp as it was this week, but it's not getting so poor in terms of conditions. This is going to affect this game. But, you know, we have seen one missed kick today from Baines. Could potentially see something along those same lines if something else were to happen here that results in a touchdown. Green moves to the other side. I imagine that's going to go to him. Goes to Green. I think he may fall in, and he does. And just like that, Ed Green has got a touchdown today for Bristol. And Bristol are going to be taking their lead to 47-0. Let's have a look at the personnel. We see number 22, Baines, the kicker in. So they are going to be looking to kick it through. Make it 48. So I think that got blocked at the line, but it's still good. There was definitely some hands on that. You could hear the slap. 48-0 is the score here in Victoria Park in Taunton. Again, I do think the Somerset are going to be a team that they're going to have to develop over the course of the season. Lots and lots of rookies on this team. But Baines going double duty. Him and Ed Green, for in fact, Ed Green coming back there. He made a big tackle the last time there was a kick return. And there was one of the Apache walking around with a vintage Bristol Aztecs merch, which was really nice. Give me more vintage Brit Ball merch, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, give me more vintage Brit Ball merch. Orange and black Aztecs kit. Bit of a low kick there from Baines. And it's going to go past Trotman. Trotman's going to get out to block. Cuts back. Oh, number one going out of bounds there pretty early on. So can Somerset get something going here in the sort of, I'll try to keep the faith. Game's over, right? Game's over with now. Let's just throw everything at the wall, see if something sticks here for Somerset. We will be back here in Victoria Park in 2 weeks. Somerset take on South Wales. So that'll be an interesting one. Again, I love watching South Wales play because they're just interesting. They're tricky. And that's what, you can't... If you're trying to investigate South Wales, you won't find it. You won't find an answer. But Somerset are going to have to. So I think that's Timmons still in. He's going to look to fire it. Can't find his receiver. Clock is still running. Do want to thank Bristol for providing me with some half-time snacks and some water. Always very nice when teams do that. Obviously you don't have to do it, but it's always very nice when you do. Shropshire Revolution. No, I'm joking. Okay, 2nd and 10 here for the Wyverns. They got a man in motion. Dropping back. They're going through the air now. Why not? Let it run, Somerset. Can't find anything there. 3rd and 10. Again, I don't hate this. Why not? You complete an absolute screamer, you're a hero, despite being 48 points down. Drop back again. Looking for a missile. Oh my lord. He's going to be very, very upset with himself. I'm trying to find a number. That's number 14. Hayden Williams was so close to completing a big play there for Somerset, but just aren't able to get it done. Punting unit once again comes on for the Wyverns. That's going to beg the question. Are the Apache, are they burger hunting? Are they hungry? Are they starving? Can they get those 2 points they need? Can they put a burger on the board for their first game of the season? Bit of a high snap. Gets it away. Kick is blocked. But it takes a good Somerset bounce. It's going to be returned by number 3 of the Apache. And just a good tackle. Number 44 of the Wyverns. Just giving him a hug and getting him down to the floor. Mike Peach. And what a peach of a tackle that was. Bang. Get you. Have one of those. That's a great punt. It just sort of rose through the air. So let's have a look here. Trying to see. I think that the Apache will be starting, I'm going to say 5 yards. So on the 45-yard line of the Somerset Wyverns. So Emerson problems with the sticks. Nope, all good. Sideline ref says play on. So 4 looks to be uncovered there for Bristol. Nope, Trotman's on him. Guess out wide, looking for TJ Ajayi, but can't find him. So now it's the third QB in for the Apache, and that is Finn Hughes. And we have reached the 2-minute warning in this game. So, I mean, both teams have got all of them. Depends on what the Apache are looking to do here. Do they want to put 50 on the board? But I imagine because they've got their third string QB in, they want to let him have. They want to let him see the field a little bit. 21 in the backfield. Number 21, not 21 people. That'd be a penalty. Hands off to 21. So we're going to have a Wyvern down, and that is ET. He's up and walking to his own sideline, which is good. It's good. I'm happy about that. So 3rd and 8 for the Apache. Time is ticking away. They've won the game, but again they've got a brand new QB and they've got their third string in. 4 in motion for them. 4 made some great catches earlier today in the warm-up. High snap, but 19 has got it and he fires it, and it's picked off by number 42. And brought down to the ground, the second interception for the Somerset Wyverns. And I tell you what, you love to see it. They are going absolutely ballistic, our Somerset. Dylan Moore with an interception. I just want to go, they've got a picture with it as well. Absolutely fantastic for them. And I mean, the clock is still running as Mercy clock rules. But I mean, Somerset are going to be looking to just put something on the board here. I can't imagine there's going to be long left. Time is ticking away. But I imagine they're going to be looking to get something on the board there. But again, I like Somerset there. Even though they're this far down, they're celebrating their little victories, which I really do appreciate as a team. They're going to hand it off. They're saying the ball is out. But I don't think it's going to matter here today. Well, not here today. I don't think it's going to matter right this minute. We're going to have another Wyvern down. And that is going to be it. So the referees are going to call this game. We have got an injured Wyvern down. Not the way you want to sort of end the game. And very, very strange situation. I mean, you've got a Wyvern down. They're trying to do the handshakes, but the player is in the middle of the field. Again, I'm not one to have a go at the referees, but I think I would have. Also, there was a timeout called, but also I don't know why the referees didn't. Not why the referees signalled for the game to end whilst there's an injured player down on the 50. Yeah, because now it's sort of thrown everything into disarray. Because you've got the Wyverns who are now worried about their teammate, and the Apache who are also worried, but want to do the handshakes. What a day here in Victoria Park in Taunton. Watch the rundown tomorrow at 7:30. And next week, Sunday, I will be in Telford in Shropshire for the Revolution versus the Birmingham Bulls. But as it stands right now, in the year of our Lord 2025, on a day of all days, ladies and gentlemen, the Somerset Wyverns 0, the Bristol Apache 48. I have been Christopher Tebbett, and as always, I love you and I'll see you later. In a bit, ladies and gentlemen.